A new high school in the Polk County community is making it their mission to create the best educational environment for students who are seeking a new beginning, while transforming each student academically and socially into productive, independent members of society. Their story is coming up on Polk Place. I'm Bill Skelton. Welcome to Polk Place. Our guest today is Miss Ashley Wright. She's the founder and CEO of the New Beginnings High School.
Good morning.
Ashley, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Before we went on air, we were discussing how long New Beginnings has been around. For the audience, could you tell us how long the high school has been in existence and where it's located?
Sure. We opened up in 2011. We are located off of Lake Alfred Road. Our address is 3425 Lake Alfred Road, and we are what we call a startup charter school.
A startup charter school. And now I understand that you specialize in students who had difficulty in, let's say, for lack of a better expression, regular high school.
Correct.
Okay, public high school, where most people go. Can you tell us something about the type of student that you have in your curriculum and give us a little insight as to the type of instruction that you provide them?
Sure. In fact, we service students who, as we say, have struggled with traditional school, and that could be private school, home school, public school. It's kind of open-ended. We have students who come from out of state who may have had some issues, or those who've relocated to this community from afar and did not finish their high school diploma. But most of the time they are students who are undercredited and overaged, or students who, again, the traditional environment is just not for them. A typical student who comes into my building is typically about 17 or 18, in need of 5 or more credits. But then I have those students who come in who need half a credit or a credit, who come in and say, hey, I'm 22, I just need half a credit, I didn't finish, can I go ahead and catch up and go ahead and get my standard high school diploma? Because we only award standard high school diplomas. And about our curriculum, we actually are a blended learning school, and that means our entire campus is blended learning. Our teachers provide instruction via direct instruction and indirect. So our students come in, they can log on a computer, and they can receive virtual curriculum, but there are also certified high school teachers in every single classroom to assist them with direct instruction as well, because we found that children learn differently. Every child doesn't learn the same way. And so for that young person who computer learning is great, we've got that for them. For that person who needs that teacher to provide the instruction, we have that for them as well.
So your students, they're completing their curricula towards a degree. And you say that some of them, this is a high school, of course, so
Correct.
Ordinarily there's that typical high school age group, but you have some students that would have graduated high school by now?
Correct. In fact, we just increased our age limit to 24, and so we're trying to make the entire community aware of that. You know, it doesn't matter that you haven't finished and you're 22, you're 23, an opportunity is available for you. Now, we do offer middle school curriculum as well, because we have found that young people who are high school age dropped out in middle school, didn't finish middle school, and so to service those children as well, we provide that. So we provide curriculum, actually grades 6 through 12, but we start servicing young people at the age of 16. The district does allow us to make some exceptions for 15-year-olds who are just struggling as well, but typically our students are age 16 and above.
Can you tell us about some of the specialized curriculum that you have?
Sure. Well, we use a curriculum that is auditory, kinesthetic, and so our students who learn by writing have that ability. Those who learn by hearing, and then those who learn by sight is also available by sight. So we have those different modes of delivery available for students. And then our classrooms are set up where all of our teachers can do pull-outs. So our students can be pulled off of the computer as they're struggling. In fact, that's the expectation, to get that one-on-one support from their teacher, as well as when they're home, they can actually work through their assignments, but all assessments must be done in the building. So again, our students are not stopped because the day is over. In fact, our building is open from 8 in the morning till 5 in the evening. So for those young people who would like to be in school, they're serious about completing, they want to get it done, they're able to come in and work in our building all day.
So they can kind of fast track themselves?
Exactly. In fact, we have young young people who do that.
And speaking of assessment, how do you determine which curriculum fits best for your individual students?
Good question. In fact, every young person who comes in is actually given an intake survey. We don't just look at curriculum, we look at why did you get to this point. You know, a lot of our young people don't like school. Some of them have jobs, some of them are working, some of them are dealing with real life adult issues and trying to pursue a high school diploma. So if we don't look at the whole piece of the puzzle, meaning the whole student, we can't serve them. So we look at the whole student and what's impeded them. And so through this intake process, we not only identify what mode of learning serves them best, but we also identify what barriers have stopped them from completing. And so our goal at our school is to address each of those issues simultaneously to help that young person get a diploma.
So you try to find out what are some of the extenuating circumstances that's put them in the position that they are, that they would turn to new beginnings.
Correct.
And with those things in mind, is there something besides the academic curriculum, that these things that you learn through assessment, that you also try to help them with some of these other things maybe outside of the academic environment, or that aren't necessarily geared entirely towards their degree?
Great question. In fact, that's exactly what we do. We have staff there who support students. We have partnered with Catholic Charities, and through Agape Ministries, the students are able to get smile packs, which are food that is provided to the students. So if there's a need, we do that. We even do community. Everyone in our building actually does home visits. We are a community-based school, so we go out and we knock on the doors of the students. We say, hey, what's the challenges? What's going on? Grandma's sick. Auntie has this going on. Again, let's help work with you. In fact, I did a home visit last week, and a young lady was saying that they needed to move out of their home because there were some challenges in the home with black mold. And so we brought them back to the school, and one of our staff members was assigned to try to help them find a home somewhere else so that we could get these young people back engaged. And through that conversation, 3 young people who had been out of school were now back in school because the school assisted them with those services. So yes, sir, that's exactly what we do. We don't just confine it to an academic issue. We look at those social and emotional issues, even mental health issues that might be in the way of impeding that young person, and we try to work through those things so they can graduate.
So really, it's just not a matter of being aware of their needs, but it's outside of school, but it's also trying to address those needs with the idea that they're going to be better students, they're going to be able to make that commitment, they're going to be able to show up in school, and they're going to be able to participate and learn.
All right, so if a young person is struggling with tenses or nouns or verbs, their immediate thought is not about learning that English curriculum you're trying to teach them. Their immediate concern is about where they're going to stay that night. And so our goal when we, look at those young people as they come in the morning, we've gotten to know them, and we can identify who's having a bad day and who's really struggling with this. And, we try to ward off some of those issues so they don't turn into behavior problems in the classroom or distractions in the classroom, and then getting those young people the support. And so that allows them to be able to go into the classroom, and our goal is to help them to be able to focus on the content that is being taught.
Well, that's got to be a pretty tall order. You were mentioning before we started talking on air that there's over 400 students at New Beginnings.
Right.
So, and that's presumably 400 students with, some needs that ordinary teachers might not come into contact with in a conventional school. That's not to say they don't. We understand that there's there's issues with food, in the entire school system throughout Polk County. But your students obviously make their needs well aware to the faculty and the administration. So it has to be an undertaking to be aware of everything that's going on in these kids' life and being able to address them along with the curriculum.
I think that, and I came from a traditional school environment, I tell people all the time, there's no difference between my children and the children that I encountered in a traditional school system. The difference, I think, is just the culture that we have cultivated at our school, where our young people know that we're more than just educators. They see us as more than just that's the lady who teaches me math, or that's the lady who teaches me English. That is someone that I can share, hey, these are the challenges. And by the way, we want to know those challenges because we're concerned about you getting your high school diploma. And when children don't come into our building, we have a full-time truancy team that does nothing but go out and get and retrieve those students and find out what those issues are. So, you know, as I visit homes, as a truancy team visits homes, as a staff visits homes, what we hear from parents in the community is, nobody does this. Schools don't do that anymore. Nobody comes and sits underneath the community tree and finds out what's going on in the community. Why do you guys do that? And so for us, it's about making those community connections, because now not only am I motivating that young person to come to school, but the entire community is now motivating that young person to come to school, because I know you've got educators at that school who are pushing you and encouraging you to make it. And so the order is tall. However, I have found that there are amazing people in this community who are absolutely energetic and passionate about what we do. One of the biggest supporters we have is our board president, Mr. Sam Killebrew. He is absolutely passionate and on fire about what we're doing in this building for these young people. In fact, we shared with him one day, we need jackets. You know, young people are coming into the school and all they can afford are hoodies, but we need jackets. We need kids to have jackets. And so he showed up the next day with like 30 jackets. And so the kids were just ecstatic. But it's a tall order, but there are people in this community who understand, who get what we're doing, who come and rally behind us.
Well, that's certainly good to hear. And you yourself are still making home visits.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That's commitment.
Yes, and I love it. I think to better understand the kid, and I tell all the staff members this, you know, to better understand that student, you start with that home connection. If I understand the environment that young person is coming out of, you know, I pick up kids off the street. I will see kids in the middle of the day riding their bicycle. Hey, excuse me, why are you not in school? You know, I come from the mindset it takes an entire village to raise a child. It's not just the parents' responsibility, it's all of our responsibilities. Because eventually these individuals, they're going to be our doctors, they're going to be our teachers, they're going to be our clerks. And if we don't pay attention to them, don't take the time and the energy and the effort to actually mold them and model them and actually input something positive into them, have we been impactful?
And I guess you can't personalize the curriculum unless
you know the person.
Unless you get to know them personally.
You got to know the person. You got to know the young person. And these kids are absolutely amazing. I mean, when you talk to them and you hear their stories and some of the challenges, yes, it's heartbreaking, but it's nothing more rewarding than being at our graduation ceremony and seeing these young people walk across those stages, because you know the challenges they've been through. You know what they have done. And to see them get ready to go conquer the world. Yeah, I'll definitely do home visits.
It seems to me the success stories have made a difference in your life as well.
Completely. Yeah. I mean, I get up every morning and I'm like, what are we going to do today? And with New Beginnings, our staff can tell you never know what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. You know, you could come in with one plan and it completely deviates down another path because this young person's having this challenge or this parent comes in and has this need. But that's what makes what we do so absolutely amazing.
Now, New Beginnings has been around for 4 or 5 years now?
Yes, we opened up in 2011.
I suspect the curriculum has grown, the student body's enlarged since its inception?
Yes, sir.
So obviously you're doing good work, you're attracting a larger student body, and it's apparent if kids are graduating, they're going on hopefully to greater success. So I can see where the faculty and staff would certainly take pride in those kinds of accomplishments, and I'm sure there's success stories large and small.
Oh yes, definitely. In fact, there's such a need throughout our county for these services that we would like to expand. Our goal is really to have a campus in Lakeland. You know, about a third of our population is coming from the Lakeland area, and these kids are riding the Citrus Connection. They're riding the city bus to get to and from school for the most part, and if they're living way out on Duff Road or they're coming from way off of Pipkin Road to our location in Winter Haven, we want to be able to make the services more convenient for them. And so when we do our truancy visits and we're talking to those kids and we're like, why aren't you coming to school? We find a lot of it is transportation. And so we would like to have a Lakeland campus, and our goal is to work with our district to be able to do so. You know, we will never be a traditional high school. That's not our goal. Let Polk County School Board do that and let them do that well. Our goal is to be able to service those students that they cannot reach. Our goal is to service those students who got left behind at some point somewhere and to bring them where they need to be.
Well, we're going to leave it at that. Ashley Wright, founder and CEO of New Beginnings High School, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Skelton.
All right. If you're looking for a fresh start, New Beginnings High School is the perfect place for you. New Beginnings High School is a locally operated charter school located in Winter Haven. New Beginnings High School will help get you back on track with their creative and highly motivating, innovative style of learning. They firmly believe their unique teaching techniques allow them to engage and service everyone who attends New Beginnings High School. Again, New Beginnings High School is located at 3425 Lake Alfred Road in Winter Haven. New Beginnings High School is a place where struggling students can realize their full potential and achieve academic excellence while earning a state-recognized diploma. For more information, you can give them a call at 863-298-5666 or look them up on the web at www.newbhs.net.